Now let's take a look at this problem. So the example is saying that I want to find the relative extrema. So the problem doesn't ask for the increasing or decreasing, just relative extrema. So I'm gonna go ahead and use first derivative test. Okay, so my function is f of x. I rewrite for you to see clearly how the function is x squared minus 4 to the power 2/3. So I'm gonna find f prime of x will be bring down the power, so 2/3 x squared minus 4, and then power reduce 2/3 minus 1. What is 2/3 minus 1? 2/3 minus 1 is negative 1/3. And then don't forget to multiply the chain rule. So you're gonna have 2x. So when this is a recommendation, okay? So if you want to solve the equation, it's better to bring the negative to the denominator. So I'm gonna have f prime of x equal 4x over 3x squared minus 4 to the power positive 1/3. So when you bring down to the denominator, the negative exponent become positive. Now, from the previous section, we learned that the critical point occurs when the derivative is equal 0 or undefined. So f prime is equal 0 is a numerator. F prime is undefined is for the denominator. Okay, so f prime undefined is the denominator. So all we have to do is set the numerator equal 0 and solve for x. X will be 0. And for f prime undefined, we're gonna set the denominator equals 0. So 3x squared minus 4 to the power 1/3 equals 0. And this will give you, so when you divide 3 on both sides, it just becomes 0. And you have x squared minus 4 to the power 1/3 equals 0. And then you can get rid of the 1/3 by cube both sides. And we will have x squared minus 4 equals 0. So that gives you x squared equal 4 and x equal plus and minus 2. So how many critical value you will have? You have 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna put all 3 critical value to test. So we're gonna have negative 2, 0, and 2. Now we will have to pick some point in here, 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 and here to put into the function. So x equal negative 3, x equal negative 1, x equal 1, and x equal 3. Okay. Plus all that into f prime of negative 3 will be 4 times, so right here, this one. 4 times negative 3 over 3 times negative 3 squared minus 4 to the power 1/3. And then see what is the sign of this. All right, so I find all the sign using the calculator. I have negative, positive, negative, positive, and we're gonna just do negative going down, positive, negative, positive. Then we're gonna have the mean at negative 2, max at 0, mean at 2. Now we're gonna find out what is the mean value, max value, and the mean value at this point, okay? Okay, and then we can make a conclusion that relative mean as x equal negative 2, where f of negative 2 is equal to 0. By putting f of negative 2 into here, we're going to have 4 minus 4 is 0. And then similarly for f of 2, right, it's going to be 0. So we have 2 minimum and 1 relative max at x equals to 0, which is q root of 16, or 2.5. And now let's take a look at the graph of x squared minus 4 to the power 2/3 on decimal, and you can have an idea for that. So y equal x squared minus 4 to the power 2/3. And you can see based on what we learned, what we have on the problem, right? So you have the mean, right? So you have the local mean, the relative mean at x equal -2, as x equal -2 is this point right here, and the y value is 0. And at x equal 2, the y value is 0. So you have the relative mean or the local mean at these 2 points. And then also you have the relative max at this point, which is 0 and 2.5. Okay, so it's actually pretty much matching our graph. Even though we don't have a graph given, we can still find out what is local max and local mean using the first derivative test.